What is happening, Miles Biggs Ideas? How are you, buddy?
Doing good. And snow is happening. Lots of
I
snow.
know you said you have like 2 feet out there. I see Prudence Friera. She's in Boston. She's saying snowy Boston. It looks like the Northeast is just a snowy mess.
It certainly is. I think I've got
Right.
5 hours into shoveling so far, and I'm still not done. So hopefully
No,
Santa
I
brings me
mean,
a snowblower.
yeah. Right. You know what? When you buy a snowblower, then it won't snow. That's
Exactly.
where you messed up.
It's like an
Right.
insurance policy. Yeah.
It is. It is. Look at that. Greg Ugaldi says they have. Look at this. Watch this. 18 inches. I mean, here we're down in Jackson, New Jersey, and we have about maybe 6-7 inches total. I was able to shovel it this morning. I'm in a 55 and older community right now, so the driveways are small.
Yeah.
So I didn't have the issues that I had when we had our like quarter-mile driveway up in Connecticut.
Yeah, that's what I've got now. A very long driveway.
Right,
All gravel, me and my shovel battling the wilderness.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, Miles, let me do my intro here real quick, if you don't mind, my friend. All right, everybody, Dave Cooper, we are bringing you the people and the processes that are building it better. Our guests and topics include experts in building systems to building science to building codes and the tech used to build it better. And today we are talking about increasing influence, personal branding, because this all comes together as one. And today's no different. Miles and I are going to talk about 2021, and it's going to be a good conversation. We want your opinion on what you think 2021 is going to look like now that COVID-19 has some cures coming out or some treatments coming out that are at least 95% effective. So with that said, Miles, what's 2021 going to look like? Are we going to all be stuck inside, or are we going to be able to get out there in the world?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to look like 2020 with the caveat that we expect it to. All right.
Yeah.
I think the big thing about this year is that no one knew this was coming. And so it was the shock and the adjustment. I think we know where we're at. We know what the state of the world is. Just because a couple of vaccines are coming out, I don't expect the switch to flip back and everything's going to be back open. Maybe by this time next year, it's more of a normal, but I fully expect 2021 to look like 2020. But the difference being we expect it to look this way. And so we're prepared for it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think, we are prepared for it, but I think people are itching to get out. I'm itching to get out. I am getting out. I found a way to do it and I'm going. But, I do think it's going to look a lot like this year because a lot of the planning that it takes to coordinate events, whatever's happening out in the world, are things that take months and months to plan for, and people aren't ready for it. And I think you're right. I think at least the first and second quarter of this year are going to be very similar to the 2020.
Yeah, and I think even after the vaccine's out, widespread, and we're back in person, I think the mask thing is going to be here to stay for a while too. And then maybe it's another 6 months after we're back to normal that sort of fades away. But
right,
this is like burned its way into the psyche of the world in America, right? Where it just changed a lot of people's belief systems around personal hygiene, really what it comes down to, right? The use of hand sanitizer, washing your hands, the mask, just being very careful and aware of your health and how outside factors can influence that. So I don't think that's going to go away all at once. So when we are back in person, there are big events. I expect to see a lot of things going on, precautions advertised and, obviously available for all of that stuff.
I know. I mean, imagine it. We've all been taught growing up, wash your hands, brush your teeth, right?
Right.
Always been taught that. It's nothing new. It's just a matter of, I guess the world needed a big reminder, and this was a big reminder. And, it's really no joke. My mom's in the hospital right now with COVID. Has been fighting it for, I guess this is her 16th day in.
Wow.
And finally, looks like she might make it through it. So, I don't even think might. I think she is. I mean, everything's been going smooth, and hopefully in the next few days, she's going to be back out. And if you're watching, Mom, let's see it. I want to see a comment. Put it in there. I sent her the link. I said, catch the show today. But yeah,
better. That's scary. That's a long time to be in the hospital.
Well, it's no joke for, like I said, the older people, over 70, I should say. And, hey, listen, It affects everybody differently. And I think that's just part of what's going on. And I'm glad they have some things coming out to help people. It's going to help us all get back to life. And that's what we want to do. Right. So, all right, Miles, let's hop into, last week's guest a little bit. Kristen, why don't you sum it up? I'm still in the middle of my move. You took that show and ran with it about halfway through. What did we miss?
Well, side note, were you still there? Somebody at the end was putting banners up. That wasn't me.
Oh, yeah, that was me messing with you.
Okay. Making sure. I was like, it's haunted. Haunted StreamYard. What's going on? That was funny. You definitely got me there. It freaked me out.
Yeah, because I think I wrote, hey, thanks, Kristen.
Yeah. I'm sitting here like, whoa.
That's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. But
to summarize it, I think what Kristen was talking about was interesting because it's I want to say it's the least accepted perspective. When we talk about personal branding and being an entrepreneur and a business owner, it's kind of macho, right? Yeah. And it's getting away from that, but especially in construction, I still think it's very much macho. We're in housing. It's even though there's automation and technology and all the stuff you and Mark Bare Naked Willie talk about on Fridays with building signs, right? It started with swinging a hammer and it was very physical, and that mindset is still there. But what she was talking about was a lot about like doing what feels good for you and energies and personalities and what the universe is going to do. And I was joking with her about stuff sounds woo-woo, that phrase out there, right? But I like it because I love that stuff. I'm into meditation and I'm a big fan of personal development and reading a lot of the stuff that she reads and that she's into. But I think that's what was interesting about the conversation, especially in this space, is that it's very popular elsewhere in other industries. And I don't think it's as popular in this field yet that our audience is primarily in.
Right.
So it was interesting to get that perspective, knowing of who we were talking to and see people's reactions in the comments about it. But she knows her stuff and she's got a huge following. I watched her post this and the comments on her page of this conversation over there, and she's got a great community and she's definitely well respected. In her
Isn't it funny, right? You sent that to me and I saw it as well, but she reposted our video that we did together. I mean, she had hundreds and hundreds of comments.
Yeah.
Hundreds of comments, not just a few.
Yeah. And everybody is like agreeing with her and adding their 2 cents about why it's important. And so I think that, again, how does 2021 look different than 2020? I think Kristen's perspective is a great piece to include in this conversation because I think that's going to be different in 2021. I think we've all been forced to take a look at ourselves and figure out what works best for our own mental health and how we show up at work and at home when our world is literally turned upside down. And so I think, and I hope as we move back to normal and in the office, and that we bring that with us and reform the physical workplace a little bit so that we take the good parts of working from home and taking care of ourselves into the corporate culture, wherever that is for all of us.
Yeah, for sure. I agree with that. And this leads into, lessons learned, with Greg's on here. He said, prayers for your mom. Thank you, Greg. I think, when we talk about like even IBS, right? And then, you know what? I'll just plug what I'm doing next Wednesday. Greg, you're listening. Yeah. Guess what I'm doing next Wednesday, Greg? I'm going to play a rerun of our live walkthrough of the International Builders Show floor. Miles, you were with me on this walkthrough.
Yep.
And Jennifer, excuse me. And that, we walked through, it must have been an hour, 45 minutes. And we went live to all the different booths and we were just talking about how great it was. And we were interviewing some of the people presenting at the booths. So it should be pretty exciting to actually see that and remember it. Because if you're like me, I thrive on that. I thrive on the people. I thrive on seeing all the new, latest and greatest things out there. So why I say that's next Wednesday. So if you want to see if you want to remember what IBS was like, that's what it was like. But here's what's even going to be better. This kind of reset on how we think a little bit and how we work, with the virtual and the physical worlds, I think is going to blend together in 2021 or 2022, really. And I think those events are going to be absolutely amazing because I think the technology that's going to be used is going to come out of what just happened with COVID. And I think those events are just going to go through the roof.
Yeah. Yeah. The saying, right, that necessity is the mother of all invention.
Yeah.
We had to get very good at a lot of different types of technology very quickly in order to sustain commerce and keep business running. So I agree with you, and we'll see that. Definitely think trends that were happening slowly we're for sure accelerated when it comes to technology and housing, and we will see that for sure when the shows are back. I agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too, and I think that's really going to be one of the values that comes out of this whole thing. All right, so getting back into increasing influence and the value of what has happened during 2020 and the amount of time you, Miles, and myself have been spending online, right?
Yeah.
Talking to people, trying to bring the world closer through, our interviews and what we're doing out there. You with your book and your TED Talk X and all these wonderful things that have kind of happened in a horrible time, I guess. I think it's making a big impact for what's out there. It's just not us. So when I say that, there's a lot of people doing what we're doing now, and it's fun to watch.
It is fun, and it's fun to be a part of it. And I think it's going to be interesting to see how what was done when we were stuck at home informs what happens when we're not stuck at home. So all these people that have come on the content creation scene, I think about somebody like Alex B. Sheridan, who we interviewed, and been keeping up with him and everything that he's doing. He's just getting bigger and bigger and doing more unique things. He's got a whole live improv show on LinkedIn now. I don't know if you saw that, where he's really pushing the boundaries. But so when he can actually go to an event for an industry and he can speak in person and do some stuff in person, it's just going to make him even more popular. So, so much is brewing, like everything you rattled off for me. I didn't just start in 2020. It was starting in 2019, and then it just so happened to hit in 2020, and now here we are. I think what people chose to do or not do during this period of time, like how everything else was accelerated, the people that were really active when we were at home, I'll say in 2020, I think we'll see them just propel, forward more when the world opens up again. And that'll be fun to watch and see what happens as it translates from this kind of format online, the Brady Bunch style, to live panels or in-person events. And like you've never met Mark, like you say all the time, right? When you and him can actually get together in person and do something, I think everyone that follows you and him will get a really big kick out of that.
Yeah, I mean, most people don't know that, right? Mark, Willie, and I have never met in person. It's all been virtual. And I mean, a lot of these relationships have been that way. And a lot of the people that I now interact with on a regular basis or do business with on a regular basis, we have never met. We have never shook hands. We've never sat across the table. And that's how powerful this can be. And these are people from all over the world.
Yeah.
And that's not usually how it used to work, right? It used to be that you'd get together, you'd have meetings, you'd break bread, you'd have the cocktail party, but we're doing a little bit different now today. And this is what I think is so great about how we're doing things. And hey, there's a lot of good environmental stuff that comes out of it as well.
Yeah, it's funny. You talk about all over the world. I had to chuckle today. I had to leave you a voicemail, and your voicemail now says, let me know what country you're calling from and give me your area code. And that just made me laugh because that just shows the types of phone calls you're getting.
Yeah.
So, of course, I busted your chops and said, I'm calling from the United States. And here's
yeah, you know what? I got it a little late after like everybody else shoveling snow today. But yeah, I do. I have to ask people because they'll just ramble off a number. And sometimes if the accent's hard and I can't hear it and understand it. So I do ask for country and area code. So that's funny. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, it is a global audience now. This has made it more of a global audience. We're really moving forward with a lot of great people and great stories to tell. Even on our shows. Last week's show, the show prior to that with the builder funnel. If you look at all these things that are happening and the people that are really putting it out there and helping everybody grow is big. If you look at offsite construction, which is mainly my world, in construction in general, this has allowed us to shine a really big spotlight on what's going on, not only on the industry, but we were talking a little bit offline, the universities as well. We're talking with the University of Denver, Purdue, and all these other professors that are looking for content. So they're looking at us to provide content for them, for their students, for their classrooms and things that are going on. So there's just amazing things that come out of what we're doing. And by putting yourself out there, that's what does it. And that's what I'm trying to drive home to people. It just doesn't happen overnight. You have to be consistent and you got to keep rocking and rolling with it.
Yeah, some might say you have to do the unseen work, Dave.
Oh, is that a book? I'm not at my desk. I can't hold it up. Yeah, you're
But
right.
no, I mean, obviously, I agree with you because that's something I found to be very true in my life. I did an interview last night with somebody, and they were rattling off all these things. They talk about the book and the TED Talk, and
Right.
all these things sound really cool that happened with me in 2020. But I chuckle because to me, it's like these didn't just happen in 2020. These are 2 years in the making, 3 years in the making, and now you're just hearing about it, maybe. And so for me, it's just my life that I've been living day in and day out. I just have these same routines and these habits that I'm implementing over and over again, and it's just now starting to work. So, it just makes me chuckle because it's great that they're going to teach that kind of stuff though in college, and how cool is that? When you talk about the table, like it's a global table. You're sitting in your chair. You can be talking to people across the world, or now you're going to be like Professor Dave. You're going to be in university classrooms, and it's all possible through the content creation. And think about how things were accelerated. I mean, truly, if COVID hadn't happened, you probably wouldn't have gone live 6 days a week for a year, right? It's like you would have thought about it, maybe done a little bit, eased into it, but this was the forcing thing that made it happen, the accelerated it. And look at everything that's happened since, and that will happen because of the conversation we're having right now.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You got to put it in the work. You got to put in the time. It's definitely not an overnight success, no matter how successful you look online. There's a lot of work behind the scenes that is happening, and it's like any other business, there's ups, there's downs to what we do. And hey, listen, sometimes we have 1,000 people show up. Sometimes we have 10 show up for our shows. You just don't know. It just depends on what the day is and what the algorithms are and what, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook think they should be putting out there, ... So, all right, Miles. So next week, let's talk a little bit about next week. Next week, we're going to do a lot of reruns, right? Because it's a holiday week. We're still going to be live. I'm still coming on live. I'm still going to have a conversation live, true to fold. But I think we're going to do some best of clips. I mean, we got, oh my God, hundreds of videos now, hundreds. Right? And a lot of people don't know the first ones that we've done. And a lot of people don't know the first people that we've interviewed, and some very, very high level people. So I think we're going to pick a few of those clips on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're going to play those through the week. Wednesday is going to be the build walkthrough for IBS, and you're part of that one, Miles. Nice. And then Thursday, we're gonna pick one of our most influential interviews that we had on increasing influence. What do you think?
It's a great idea. It's Christmas Eve for you and I next week. How crazy is that?
Christmas Eve, and we're still going live, right?
We'll do it. I'll be here. Yeah, have my treat in the background, little 3-year-old running around maybe, but we'll do it. It's part of the fun.
A little bit of eggnog, a little bit of wine. I know.
So we got Christmas Eve, the 24th, and then the next week we'll have to see where I'm at. But I could be popping in real quick, probably not a long time, Dave, from the hospital with a new baby in the picture because my son will be born on the 30th. So
that is awesome. Yeah, no, that is really awesome. Now listen, if you go live from the hospital from your phone, I will be impressed. That's even pushing more than I might even do.
We'll see. I'll leave you hanging, Dave. But we'll see how things are at. We'll see.
Let's do this a little bit differently. Time this with your wife to be right around 1:00, so we can just catch the whole thing going, right?
No. I do not think she would sign up for that.
Come on, tell her to be a team player. Let's go. Yeah,
that'd be a ratings boost, huh? That'll get us some views. That'll be controversial.
So Thursday next week is the big day where you become a father again.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. So that's exciting. What a great Christmas that is for you guys, right?
Yeah. Funny enough, my first son is born on the 28th of December.
Yeah. Right.
And then my second son will be born on the 30th. So busy time of year in the Biggs household.
Yeah, that will be. But it's going to be such a blessing. And I have to tell you, you already know that first year and a half to me was always so hard. But then all of a sudden they start looking at you and trying to say stuff, and then they're running around. That's when it really becomes real for me and so much fun. Even with the stow today, watching my kids outside having a snowball fight and picking on the 4-year-old, it was fun to watch.
Yeah,
I videoed some of it.
It is a lot of fun. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. So I know with my move and everything, it's been kind of a hectic 2 weeks for me. this should be it, Miles. I'm hoping to be wrapped up by Monday. By Monday, our truck's being delivered tomorrow to our new location. We're going to get that unloaded, unpacked, and guess what we're doing? Heading south.
When do you hit the road? What's the launch day for the road trip?
February 1st is the official launch date, but we're gonna head down to Florida here probably Monday or Tuesday, or at least work our way to Florida. We'll probably stop and just do some stuff with the kids. One of the things we want to do is go to the Biltmore House and some other things along the way in the Carolinas, and see if we can add a little Christmas spirit, since we won't be in our own home this year. We're going to be at others. So that's kind of cool.
That is cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, look at that. Hami Milan. Congratulations, Miles. What a blessing.
Thank you very much.
What's up, Hami? Hami's from Sioux Cup America. You know what? I always love talking about Hami. Hami, we should have you come on the live show one of these days soon. Hami, what are you doing right now? Give me a thumbs up if you want to join us. I'll send you a link right now. Give me a thumbs up if or give me a yes. I'm ready. Watch, he's probably sitting there sweating, saying, "You really doing that?" This is a guy you got to know, Miles. I'm going to tell you. Watch, I'm going to force him into join. Hami, you have to join us. I'm not giving you an option. Come on, let's bring you in for the show real quick. You're one of my favorite young people, and we got Greg Ugaldi from the immediate past chair of the NAHB watching. This will be a good introduction for you, my friend. Let me go in here and send him the private link on LinkedIn. Give me a second. Hopefully he can join. He's probably sitting in a meeting going, I can't. I'm in a meeting, Dave. I can't.
This is the virtual version of you just springing a camera on somebody in a trade show booth.
Right. Hey, you want to interview? Good. Perfect. Here we are. Let's do it. Love it. There you go. All right. I sent you a link. So, yeah, baby. He's in. Let's bring him in for a minute. We weren't going to have too long of a show today, but we may just change that right now. You're going to like this. You're going to like this young man.
I'm ready. Let's talk to him.
I'll never forget when I met him. We were at IWBC in Boston with Art Schmann's show, right? The International Industrialized Wood-Based Conference. And Hami was there, and just a young guy at the booth, surrounded by all of us old gray-haired men that are there. And we ended up doing an interview, and it's been wonderful knowing him ever since. So we'll bring him in and see what he has to say here in a second.
Well, I can relate to that. Being the young guy surrounded by the wise, seasoned professionals. It's like the story of my career.
Story of your career. Well, you know what? That can be good and bad, right, Miles? As long as they don't pigeonhole you and don't let you think different, don't let you expand on better things, and especially if they say, "Well, that's how we've always done it."
Oh yeah, favorite.
Right? Miles, nothing better than being a new dad. I have 4. Congrats.
Thanks, Greg. Yeah, it's exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited because I'm having a 3-year-old, so he's in the stage where he says no and talks back and yells at me. And this one won't do that. He'll just look at me, sleep, actually, so that'll be fun.
You know what? It will be fun. It will be fun. So, but you got a lot going on. You start adding and adding and adding to this, and it becomes a whirlwind for a little while. And then before you know it, you're back to normal. Like my kids on this road trip, they are going to become camera kids. They are going to need to set up. They're going to need to break down. They're going to learn some business on this trip in between their higher education.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. They'll never forget this either. This will be such a great experience for them.
Yeah, no, I think it's
what they'll write a college essay about one day. This crazy year with my dad on the road filming stuff. It'll be cool.
Yeah, for sure. I think it will be really cool for them and a lot of fun. All right. Jennifer says, Miles, more kids equals more help when shoveling snow. You may need to wait a few years for that, though.
Actually thinking about that this morning. I was like, how many years until it's not me doing this, right?
I can tell you that being that I have 2 twin 12-year-olds, it still could be a while. But they came out to help. But my problem is I'm usually up super early, and I want to just get out there. I get it done. And then they show up, But we had them go down and shovel the neighbor's drive and so forth. I have to tell you, when we're staying at my mother-in-law's in a 55 and older community, and you're out there shoveling, like the guilt kicks in because you have so many people that shouldn't be shoveling. Right. And I had that urge of I better go over and help them, and I better go over and help them. But there's like 1,000 units in this place. I'd be here for months.
Can't do everybody's, yeah.
No, but what was funny, my kids were helping one of them, and they said, no, don't do it. There's people that do this. They'll get mad if you shovel our snow. I was like, wow, how about that? Who would have known?
Only job, right? They get paid to do it.
They do get paid to do it. They do get paid. All right, Hami, where you at? We're waiting on you, my friend. Let's come. Bring it in. We're going to talk a little bit about Soup Cup America and what you guys got going on. Let me see. Make sure I got him the stream right. I did. All right, cool. Let me go up here, too. So Friday, Miles, guess what we have going on tomorrow? Tomorrow's a lot of fun. We have Maureen Sanchez on tomorrow. She is a huge passive house person. She's working on a ton of the projects from all in Canada, the universities, 800 bed buildings, all passive house, all building science, green, energy efficient, healthy homes. And it's funny. She's French. Have you ever heard that one before?
As opposed to like Canadian French?
That's it. You got it. I didn't get it. I'm like, what the heck's French? She goes, well, I'm really from France. So French.
No, she's not from Quebec. She's from France.
Oh, look here. I knew it. Hey, guys. Sorry. Can't immediately thought you meant for the future. Nah, man. I was talking immediately, homie. That's all right. We'll catch you next time. I bet. I knew it. Sorry. Meeting starting. He's a hardworking guy. Let's make it happen in the new year. Hey, we're going to make it happen in the new year.
Yeah.
Very cool. So listen, I think with everything going on, Miles, and I think what's happening with people getting the cure now, or at least getting some medication for COVID, 2021 is going to be a great year.
For sure. And I think it'd be a great year without that, right? There's definitely some bad stuff going on, but yeah, I know I've learned about myself that I'm way more resourceful than I originally gave myself credit for. The things that I've done, I've done some stuff this year, had some things happen that I never could have guessed. Like you kind of like all the bad stuff that happened gave me the kick in the butt to try some new things. So it's great that we got the vaccine, but I'm a glass half full type guy, right? It's going to look different, but I do still think it's going to be a great year and lots of opportunity out there for people that are willing to get up early, stay up a little later, watch a little less TV. You can make a lot of cool stuff happen on the internet. That's for sure.
You know, it's funny you say that. Watch very little TV, and you're absolutely right. It's just putting in the time and the effort. Do it scared. Don't be afraid to hop online. Don't be afraid to just do a video and put it out there, because nobody really cares what you're wearing, what you look like. You know, just deliver some content. Deliver something that's of value to people, or try to deliver something of value. You'd be surprised if you're doing something that you like or you think is interesting. A lot more people will think it's interesting as well.
100%.
More people than people know, right?
Yeah, it's a big world out there.
There's
somebody out there that's gonna, agree with you and like your stuff.
Well, that's exactly it. So, all right, what do we got coming in here? I see the comment bar lit up. Oh, here we are. Hami wishing you and Team Soup Cup America Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy 2021. I love it. That was nice. You can tell we like Hami.
Yeah, let's get him on.
All right, Miles, listen, I think that's a wrap. I got to get back to packing. People can't see. That's why it's so dark in here. I don't want people to see the mess behind me. We got stuff scattered everywhere. Hey, when you're getting ready to travel the country in an RV, you don't just take your wardrobe and the 50 jackets that you had in the closet since you were a kid. We're downsizing and we're going through everything. Our kids think we're nuts. But we're going to
have a garage sale. Just hold up items and say, what will you give me for this jacket?
That's right.
Start selling stuff.
We did a garage sale, and I mean, it was amazing. And the things that you think people would buy, they don't. They buy the things you don't think they would buy. It's absolutely kind of it was a phenomenon. And the other thing we learned about a garage sale? Next place we live, it's the first thing we're going to do. We met some of the greatest people, and we're like, man, I wish we would have known you. We would have hung out. So another valuable lesson about garage sales. Garage sales help you meet people. That's just another way of social media right there. And you can make some money doing it.
There you go.
So
I like it.
Who knows? All right, Miles, listen. So next week's going to be a fun week. Miles, you're going to pick the episode for next Thursday's broadcast. We will kick it off live here and have a conversation prior. Let it run through. We'll come back in at the end, answer any questions if there are any. And then, again, Wednesday's a great day too, Miles. Maybe you should jump in. We can talk a little bit about what happened at the show. I don't know how to shut off my in-laws' phone.
Cool. Yeah, I'll start looking through old episodes and find one. That'll be fun.
Yeah, it will be a lot of fun. So I don't know how to shut off her phone. Anywho, everybody, that's it. That's a wrap. An increasing influence with Dave Cooper and Miles Biggs idea. Hami, Sue Cup America, thank you for tuning in today. And everybody else out there. We got another banner coming up. Oh, don't forget to pack your coffee cups. I won't, that's one of my, so all right, before we go, one of my things that I really want to do, because I am a coffee snob. I like really good coffee, right? I like dark black. I mean, if it can be mud. When I was in the Army, quick story, and we were overseas, you don't always have hot water, right?
Okay.
And you're pulling patrol or you're up all night and you have packets of coffee grounds. We used to like chew the coffee ground, like grind them and just to get the caffeine, stay awake. I mean, sometimes you're up for 24 hours, straight or longer, or you have an hour here, hour there. And ever since I've done that, I love, it's garnered the taste for good coffee. Now, I'm not drinking pots and pots a day, but I like a good coffee. So, Greg, what you're saying is, Dave, be prepared to drink some of the best coffee from around the country. And we're not going to do it in a regular brewer or in a K-Cups. I think we're going to actually do our own coffee, where you dip it and pull it out. That's what I've always wanted to do. So,
got to get a coffee sponsor for Dave for the road trip.
That's it.
You need a coffee sponsor.
Hey, if you guys know anybody from Black Rifle Coffee, I haven't tried their coffee yet. I want to try that coffee.
There you go.
Bunch of military guys started their own coffee company. That would work for me big time. So, all right. That's my coffee story, everybody. Listen. Next week's going to be a fun week. We're going to play some of the best of the interviews that we had. We are still going to be live. We're going to start our shows, end our shows, and we're going to fill the middle of the shows with some of the best conversations we've had since this all started. Miles, what do you got to say for yourself?
It's going to be Christmas Eve for us next week, Dave. So I think we should also arrive wearing some festive Christmas sweaters.
Ooh.
Give people something to look at, You got to unpack one of those.
Oh, you know what? I got my filters. Maybe I'll show up as Santa Claus. How about it?
Done. I'm in for it.
Let's do it. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Miles, hang right there. We'll come back to you. I'm Dave Cooper and Miles Biggs idea. Please follow him at Relish the Journey. And what's your other site, Miles?
Just milesbiggs.com.
Milesbiggs.com. That's it. All right, everybody. Have a good day. We will see you tomorrow on BS Friday, 1 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday, 9 a.m. Coffee with Dave. Bye now.